Hey, welcome back to Vox Terra with me, Matt, and me, Rusty. The show's purpose it is to get people to focus on the long-term survival of our species and make that their political priority. And we've got a cast of characters with funny voices to spice things up. What's on for today? Well, Rusty, on today's show, Yukon Jack, and Benny are going to discuss the last couple rounds of Democratic debates. Well, that sounds interesting. I hope they give a good pitch for the environment, and they're going to analyze it for the long-term survival of the species, as well as their use of good, simple, repeated messaging. How do you do, Benny? Good to see you again. Good to see you again too, Yukon. So did you get a chance to catch any of these here Democratic debates? I sure did, Yukon. How about you? I sure did, Benny. Well, what'd you think about them? Well, Benny, before we get to that, I think we should start keeping our eyes on the prize. Let's take a look at the Greenpeace website here, and they rated the candidates, including Donald Trump, and you can see he got himself an F. Now, if you remember back to our show, Trump, Make America Venus Again, could we get that up here, please? On that episode, we pointed out Trump's abysmal environmental policies. So we established Trump's got himself an F, and now how are the Democrats doing, and what do we think about their debate? So first of all, let's analyze these debates in terms of messaging, articulated, articulable messaging. Now, what I'm concerned about is Trump's got himself a message, and most of the media isn't talking about Trump's environmental record, so quite frankly, a lot of the public doesn't get it. So out of the Democrats, we're going to need to see an articulated, simple put message that provides a counter narrative to Trump's narrative. Now, if we're looking at Bernie and Warren, I feel they provide such a counter-narrative. Their simple message, and they seem very good at getting back to the main point here, is that the wealth is accruing to the top. The system is dominated by multinational corporations, and we need leaders who can stand up to that. This is the cause of the climate crisis, healthcare crisis, and eroding middle class and economic instability. And no matter what question asked of Bernie or Warren, they're pretty darn good at getting back to that point. Why, Benny, I'd have to agree with you, they are pretty good at getting back to that point. Now, if we look behind us here at the Greenpeace website again, which we see going up to the top ranked candidate here is none other than Jay Inslee. Many folks call him the climate change candidate, and he's got himself a nice sweet A. Now, watching Jay during the debates, I'd say he did a fine job in his opening and closing statements of bringing up the situation with climate change and not supporting the fossil fuel industry and not taking fossil fuel money. So in that regard, he was similar to Bernie and Warren, and that he was pointing out where the problem lies and mapping out a nice solution, a nice jobs-creating solution. But the problem I thought Jay Inslee was having is he wasn't staying on message when he's asked about other questions. He could have used those opportunities to come on back to his own version of a Green New Deal, which I'm not sure that he calls it that, but it basically seems like one, and take that opportunity. Now, besides Biden and Warren, Benny, who else did you think was I didn't mean Biden, I'm sorry, I meant to say Bernie and Warren. Why, Benny, who else did you think was good at coming back to a point? I'd have to say I thought Andrew Yang was quite good at coming back to his point. Now, here at Greenpeace, they don't give him such a hot score on climate change. But he was very masterful in this last debate at bringing whatever question asked of him back to his idea of a universal basic income. And in the prior debate, Andrew Yang even said, when asked about climate change, if you took the economic boot off of people's necks, they'd be able to focus on climate change. And I'd say that's a very true statement. Whether you're looking at solving this problem through a Green New Deal, which is helping to transition to a greener economy, or you're providing people with a universal basic income, either way, the main issue we're looking at here is that people's livelihoods are tied up in polluting the earth. And that's not good, because basically they're earning a living by poisoning themselves. So one way or another, we need to help people transition away from that way of earning a living, be it universal basic income or a Green New Deal. You know, Benny, another place I thought Warren did a fine job of bringing it back to her main point is when she was asked about the trade deals and pointed out that NAFTA 2.0, Trump's NAFTA, is going to be a big giveaway to the pharmaceutical industry. Now that's the type of news the business-owned news media tends to underreport, and that shows where Trump's heart really lies. How about some of the other candidates, Benny? You know, Yukon, I'd like to bring up, I didn't find Deblasio especially on message, but I did like it when they asked him about immigration, that he pointed out that Trump uses that as an issue to divide and conquer the public, to make a certain part of the public feel like he's on their side, while he's doing all sorts of giveaways to some of his wealthy donors, as Deblasio would put it. Although I prefer putting it as he's helping out the reckless elements of the business community. Another one, Benny, I thought Tulsi Gabbard was pretty good about getting back to her anti-war message. As far as other candidates go, not exactly coming back to the main points, which is what you got to do. You need a narrative, and you got to have a few points, and you got to stick to them, and you got to repeat them. That's what Trump did, and it helped him out. I don't know that he exactly won this election, because he didn't get the majority, and you never know what really happened in some of those little swing areas with the way the computer votes are tallied, but it didn't hurt him having a simple, easy-to-follow narrative. Well, Benny, it was good chatting with you about the debates, and let's wrap this one up for today and give it back over to Matt and Rusty. Hey, thanks a lot, Yukon and Betty. Oh, that was terrific. Well, until next time, please comment. Support and sincere constructive criticism are always welcome. Share, like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. Peace be with you. Peace be with you.